we've got a big weekend.
TMD.
Got to make sure you got your ducks in a row.
Weekend preview.
Can't ask for much more than that.
For over 3/4 of a century, the NASCAR world has been making trips to Martinsville, Virginia, population 13,517, to potentially take home a grandfather clock and cement your name into the Martinsville history books.
McMurray up by inches in the high lane. Back comes Jeff Gordon. He'll take the lead in 4.
Jamie not making it easy at all, but Jeff Gordon prevails. He pulls out in front with 1 lap to go. Jeff Gordon leads back to 2.
Final time down the back straightaway. Gordon beginning to pull away. The drive for 5 is still alive. Jeff Gordon headed for checkered flag out of turn 4.
Would he win again? The answer is yes. He'll win at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon across the line for the 93rd time in his career.
To win here at Martinsville in front of this crowd that stuck around.
I think you got a few fans. Nobody has left.
I tell you, there's no greater feeling for a race car driver than to pull up to victory lane and have that kind of reaction from the crowd, that reaction from my team, and to have my family come up. This is unbelievable.
That sent chills up my spine, hearing that. It was so, I'm not articulate enough to be able to put it into words that really describe what that's like. It really was the ultimate experience for me, just the timing of it, all that it's like you in a blink of an eye relive the moment you got in a race car from the beginning to all the work that went into getting you to the Cup Series in NASCAR and to that moment, in your final year, to allow to see your kids come running down that front straightaway to greet you, and my wife Ingrid, and what it meant for the championship battle that year, and the team and Hendrick. And then the fans. I mean, there's no other experience you have anywhere on the circuit where you're that close to the fans and you get to feel the energy from the fans. And whether, it just seemed to me like that day there were more than just Gordon fans, loyal Gordon fans that were, kind of sticking around as a part of that moment. And that really meant the world to me.
That's how it sounded a tad over 7 years ago. And also a reaction from this past Wednesday. Jeff Gordon's 93rd and final NASCAR Cup Series win. That race, remember, weather delayed. Matter of fact, it started under a green-yellow condition. Joey Logano won the pole at 207 laps before he and Matt Kenseth tangled. Jeff Gordon bubbled to the surface and took home his 9th grandfather clock, a win that, as you heard, meant a lot to Jeff. And he went on to add that win was his number 1 win in his Hall of Fame career. There will be 3 long case clocks up for grabs this weekend. And first up will be the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's going to be race 7 of the year and the last of 5 in a row for the trucks. Remember, Christian Eckes won in Atlanta, Zane Smith won in Coda, Carson Hocevar won in Texas, and Joey Logano won a week ago on the Bristol Dirt. Tonight's truck trip into Martinsville will be the Series' 46th race there and is one of 2 tracks that have competed on the series schedule since day 1. Grant Enfinger will be making his 11th Martinsville start, looking to claim his 2nd grandfather clock.
I like any time our truck series goes to a true short track, I like it. You don't get any more of a true short track Saturday night feel than Martinsville. So if you have a good truck, you can find your way to the front. We've been able to do that in the past, and hopefully we're able to do it this weekend. I feel like this is a place that GMS Racing has also had a lot of success. So hopefully we can combine all of those thoughts and processes together. That's what we tried to do this week leading up to the race. And I'm anticipating a really good truck, and if we can do that, we've got a shot at it.
Corey Heim hoping to have a shot at victory lane tonight, and he explained about getting into the rhythm of racing at Martinsville.
Kind of get in a groove and get in a mindset to where you're braking at the same point every lap, and your steering input is consistent and your throttle input is consistent. And as soon as someone comes and kind of bumps you out of the way, gets you out of the groove a little bit and rattles you, that's when everything kind of derails, and you need to get back in that rhythm. It's worth a lot of time around that place. I mean, if you're couple feet up from the curb, and no rubbers being laid down, so all the grips right on the bottom. It's really crucial to just hit your mark every single time around that place because there's so much time right around the bottom.
Tonight's Long John Silver's 200 will be 200 laps, 105.2 miles. Stage breaks at laps 50 and 100. You can watch it on FS1. Tomorrow's call811.com before you dig 250 will be NASCAR Xfinity Series Dash for Cash race number 2 of the 4-race bonus program. Justin Allgaier, Chandler Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, Josh Berry are the 4 going for an extra $100,000 bonus. The highest finisher of the 4 will get the cash. Justin Allgaier has taken home $500,000 of that bonus money to date. Now, while he's not going for bonus money at Martinsville with a good finish, Jeremy Clements could race for it at Talladega. But to do so, he says one needs to keep their emotions in check.
I love Martinsville. Good short track race and place to piss you off, though. I'm telling you, if you don't walk out there pissed off, I don't know. It's every time I race there, I'm usually mad after I leave. Somebody's hit me and I hit somebody. And you beat and bang. And last year we finished 10th and then 17th. Obviously, I don't know what the forecast doesn't look good, but if we don't qualify, we're going to start like 27th because of that bad 36th place finish at Richmond. But it all comes back to last week. It affects you this week.
Derek Kraus making his Xfinity Series debut for Colleague Racing on Saturday afternoon. Would love to start his Xfinity career with a grandfather clock.
It'd mean the world. That'd be a dream come true, Dave. It's definitely always been, everybody likes winning, but Martinsville, I feel like, is a special place, and also it'd be really special. My family made it down, so if we are able to win the clock and end up in victory lane on Saturday night, that'd be a huge accomplishment for me. And again, it just show how good Colleague is with building race cars and producing a fast Chevy Camaro at the racetrack.
The call811.com before you dig 250, 250 laps, 131.5 miles. Stage breaks at laps 60 and 120. You can watch it on FS1. Here's the channel schedule for tomorrow. You'll wake up on the front stretch with Pat Patterson at 7 a.m. Eastern, followed by Press Pass with Brad Gilley and Dustin Long at 11 a.m. in the East. It'll be Loose Ends at 2 Eastern, followed by Dialed In with Claire B. Lang at 4. It'll be Motor Racing Network with qualifying and practice coverage at 4:30, followed by Dialed In with Claire B. Lang at 6. MRN on the air with the NASCAR Xfinity Series at 7, followed by Dialed In with CBL until midnight in the East. Sunday's NOCO 400 is the 9th race of the year for the NASCAR Cup Series. Christopher Bell won last week on the Bristol Dirt, but as you all know, Martinsville is Hendrick country. Hendrick Motorsports is the only team to lead over 10,000 laps at Martinsville. 10,501 to be exact. They have 27 wins, and they've won 3 of the last 5 Martinsville races with 3 different drivers. Chase Elliott is back in the fold, and as we know, Hendrick Motorsports rules Martinsville. After a 6-week hiatus, Chase Elliott is attempting to do the same.
And I feel like this was the right week to do it. I feel good, and the doctors got to a point where they were comfortable with it, and they left it up to me to decide when I was ready. And we had a good couple days in the sim, and that led to building some confidence and wanting to go ahead and move forward and go to Martinsville.
Chase Briscoe nursing a hand injury, and he explained how he's been getting ready to run 400 laps at Martinsville with that injury.
For me, the hardest part is turning the wheel left. Right. So when I'm down there, I don't have a lot of strength in general, so it's hard for me to hold the wheel. But then also just how bulky my glove is now. It's just really hard for me and awkward to turn the wheel really far left. So that's something in the simulator I was trying to kind of play around with, is kind of have my left hand, honestly, at like 12 o'clock versus at 9 o'clock. Just so whenever I do turn the wheel all the way left, I'll be at 9 o'clock versus being at 6 o'clock with my left hand. So luckily it's only a 400 lapper instead of a 500 lapper, but still going to be, I think, the biggest test out of all of them so far.
Corey LaJoie is looking for another good finish this weekend. He says there is one thing about Martinsville that stands out than the others.
Qualifying is going to make your weekend. Qualifying your 1-lap speed or 2-lap speed is going to be super important because you don't see a lot of yellows. You see a lot of green flag runs there, and those leaders are putting down in clean air. They're putting down a blazing pace. So hopefully we see some tire lay down, some car slipping and sliding, low downforce package. So it'll be a little bit looser in, a little bit looser off, a little bit slower middle corner speed. So I think you will see that middle lane not at a detriment as much as it had been previous years. So I'm excited to see what our Team Nigu Chevrolet has this weekend. I'm looking for a top 10 run out of us.
It will be another race with the low downforce package, but Christopher Bell, who won at Martinsville last fall, isn't sure he'll see much of a difference on track.
It should be less of a difference maker than it was at COTA or at Richmond or at Phoenix. So I wouldn't expect the races to look that much different at Martinsville. Hopefully the weather will help. I know it's supposed to be a lot warmer than what we've had the last couple races. So the weather mixed with the low downforce package, maybe we see the cars slide around a little bit more. Directionally it should be better, but I don't think it'll be a huge change.
Martin Truex Jr. is going for his 4th Martinsville win. His crew chief James Small says hotter is better.
It's going to be hot and slick. Probably something, we haven't seen there for a while. A lot of the races have been pretty cool. So, that's going to change the race, especially if we get in the longer runs and also maybe, change when people pit or if people decide to stay out and take some risks and things like that. So I think it will be, a different race and hopefully a lot better than last year with this new aero package because, that wasn't a whole amount of fun for a lot of people.
Virginia native Denny Hamlin looking to get things headed in a better direction at one of his home tracks, but to do so, as crew chief Chris Gabehart says, the 11 team has to have a perfect race.
Again, gotta execute a clean race. You look at the fall race last year, we were dominant. I mean, nobody even close to us the first 2 stages and really to start the 3rd stage. And then, we come on to pit road and start having troubles on pit road, one stop after the other and lose track position. And it's a bunch of short runs and you can't make it up. So it's a really hard place to get it done at, definitely. And one that we have been running way better than we've had results for over the past, 5 or 6 races. Looking forward to getting up there and trying to get us a clock. I definitely think we're capable.
At 4:35 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon, the field will be broken into 2 groups for practice and qualifying. Here's how those groups break down.
36 cars on the entry list. In Group A, Zane Smith, who's in for the suspended Cody Ware for Rick Ware Racing, Noah Gregson, Corey LaJoie, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, Harrison Burton, AJ Allmendinger, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, Justin Haley, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Todd Gilliland, Michael McDowell, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., and Tyler Reddick. In Group B, it'll be Anthony Alfredo in the Live Fast Motorsports Chevrolet. It'll be Eric Almirola, Ty Dillon, Joey Logano, J.J. Yaley, Ryan Preece, Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski, Ty Gibbs, William Byron, Chase Briscoe, Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Christopher Bell.
The NOCO 400 at Martinsville, 400 laps, 210.4 miles. Stage breaks at laps 80 and 180. You can watch it on FS1. On Sunday morning, be sure to join Pat Patterson with the front stretch at 7 a.m. Eastern. We'll have loose ends for you, the best of SiriusXM NASCAR Radio at 11. Fantasy Racing Preview with Pistol Pete at 1. Motor Racing Network on the air at 2. Followed by your reaction and the SiriusXM NASCAR Radio post-race show until 8. Dialed in with Claire B. Lang until 9 p.m. in the East. Here are your driver-to-crew chatter channels for the NOCO 400. You can hear Christopher Bell and his team on Sirius 136, XM 380, streaming on 980. Denny Hamlin's team can be heard on Sirius 137, XM 381, streaming on 981. And William Byron and the boys of the 24 car on Sirius 138, XM 382, streaming on 982. Those channels will go live at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.